Alrighty, boys and girls, welcome back to 10 in the Pit. Today, we are going to give the biggest flops in the bowling industry in our opinion.
Of this year.
2024. Worst bowling balls for us that we've thrown, that we've seen thrown, that we've tried to throw. And your favorite bowling ball might be on this list.
Might be. We're probably going to catch some heat for this one.
Oh, yes. So, we had to pick a ball from every company. No matter what. Had to. That was hard.
For you.
It was. It was very hard for me. If you are just finding our channel, we spent the last year reviewing at least 91, almost 100 bowling balls this year.
Right.
We have firsthand knowledge with almost every bowling ball on the market from the big three manufacturers. There's a few other manufacturers we didn't dip or dive into, but for the most part, from Brunswick, Brands of Brunswick, B7, Storm 3, SPI, Motive, all of those releases, we have drilled and firsthand knowledge with all of them, except for the only ones we haven't reviewed this year was the 900 Global Exponent Pearl. We did not review the DV8 Hater.
Correct.
And we did not review the Max Thrill Pearl from Motive. Just because of when certain things were coming out, there were other things that were better for our games.
Right, and obviously the Hustles, like, I did the Hustle BRY. There's many versions of the Hustle.
There was 2 versions this year, correct.
But
yeah, but we tried to get, like, we did the Hammer Raws, and we tried to cover almost everything. So we're going to break down our list of worst bowling balls of 2024 by staff member. There's 8 of us. Jaden didn't partake in this because he just started. He doesn't really hate anything yet, well, unless it hooks. So there's seven opinions here. Each staff member chose a ball from each manufacturer. I'll start with Aiden. Aiden's worst bowling ball from Storm 3 this year was the Road. I can agree with that. I wasn't a fan of the Road.
Yes, but it's an interesting choice for him because he liked his Ethos Hybrid. You know what I mean? And it has a little bit more surface. But
correct.
Hybrid for him shouldn't really... Yeah, I don't know.
That's okay. Because
his pick, it's fine.
Right, but all of his choices, you're going to catch a theme here, or maybe you'll see it, but his choice for Motive, least favorite bowling ball of the year, or the flop of the year in his eyes, was the Max Thrill Pearl.
Yeah. Next.
And Aiden's least favorite bowling ball from Brunswick, you got to witness his bowling ball review on, was the DV8 Chill Pearl. So all 3 of his choices, ironically, are symmetrical pearls.
Lower end. Well, the Road is a hybrid, but they're lower end.
All symmetrical, all finished with polish.
Right.
Just not a fan of them.
Yeah, no hand Jackson.
Yeah.
So we have Joey next. His picks from each manufacturer. We have Arctic Vibe from Hammer.
He hates that ball.
Motive Evoke Play-Doh ball. And the DNA Coil. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, they're 2 of my favorites.
It might be a little strong for him.
It is.
Or a little inconsistent, too.
It is.
Overall, his choice was the Arctic Vibe.
Correct. Oh, Aiden's least favorite bowling ball of the year was the DV8 Chill. Out of all 3 of those choices, DV8 Chill is his worst pick. Like, you can't make a worse ball than the DV8 Chill to Aiden. And you can't make a worse ball than the Hammer Arctic Vibe for Joey. He'll tell you how much he hates that ball.
Yeah. He wanted to junk it. Like, literally throw it in the garbage.
He hates it. All right, Mr. Taft.
Oh, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, a lot of my favorite pieces are on this list. Aaron's favorite, least favorite flop of the year, like the biggest turd of the market. Conspiracy HK22 from Radical.
That wasn't a bad ball.
It wasn't, but he hated it. He didn't like the way it's shaped. He also, we can't hold it against him. He doesn't have that great a taste. He didn't like the Black Venom.
Yeah.
Okay? We can't hold it against him.
Goat ball.
Yeah. So that was his B7 flop of 2024. His Storm one, I was hemming and hawing with this one too because I just don't quite like it.
Yeah.
But Aaron went right out and said it. Phase AI. And that, he hurting me a little bit here. He hurting me. For motive, that Hyper Venom.
Must be the color.
This thing here, this has got to be one of Motive's top selling balls of 2024.
For sure.
This was crazy. And everybody seems to like it. But Aaron does not. But his biggest flop across all the brands for 2024, Conspiracy HK22.
I don't agree with that.
That hurts, my guy.
It's okay. So, next is Bryant Craft. B7 brands. Ebonite Crusher. Motive Evoke. And, oh, that's an interesting choice. I haven't looked at this list, to be honest with you. He chose the Exponent Pearl.
Exponent Pearl was too angular for him. He didn't, but he likes the anger. But
right.
The Exponent Pearl was just too much.
Huh. Okay.
But he put the Evoke on there.
A lot of people don't like it.
I think it's the color palette.
See, I like the colors. It's just how it rolls for me. I don't care for how round it is.
And out of everything Mr. Kraft has drilled already, he has put an honor score on everything except for one bowling ball.
And that is the one he chose on this list.
Biggest flop of 2024 for Mr. Kraft?
Is the Ebonite Crusher.
Yes, sir. I don't think it's a good hybrid.
No, it's not great.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. Mr. Williams. These guys are just coming after me today. Do not like these lists. Early's biggest flops of 2024 for Motive, EXJ Venom.
I do not agree with any of Early's choices on this list. Except for his actual biggest flop.
Yeah. Then he chose from Storm, he chose the Summit Ascent for the biggest flop. And he was high on that ball.
He was. He even put it on his list as number one. First.
But then after the cover broke in a little bit more, he didn't like it. He got rid of it quick. Which, I don't... But, Brunswick, biggest flop for him, Hitter Pearl. I don't think it was as good as the Hitter.
Correct. I do agree with him on that.
Yeah, me too. Can't argue with that one.
Yeah. Not that it was hyped up or anything, just one of those balls we threw and just didn't like.
Correct. So now we kind of have a flop here, a unlined. We normally can split up and not have to do our own picks. So I'm going to do Quinton's picks next, and then he can finish.
Oh, boy.
Now, I'm going to smack Quinton because I'm close to Quinton here. All right? Every bowling ball on Quinton's biggest flop list, I can't argue with. Now, if everybody remembers when the Pride Liberty came out from Motive, we were very high on that bowling ball. And I want to apologize. Because after that ball got 75 to 80 games on it, that ball turned into the biggest pile of flop ever for Quinton.
I couldn't deal with how lazy it got down lane.
It didn't matter how much we baked it, didn't matter how much we brought it back to surface, it just would not get something close to.
Well, even as a two-hander, like I already have more revs.
Right.
Even if I slowed it down, though, it wouldn't carry.
Right.
It just...
And that's what I said.
It was great out of box.
And I told Quinton, he's like, well, pick your worst ball of the year for Motive. I'm like, I can't even say the Pride Liberty, because if I had to go to a tournament and drill one every 3 months, I would, because the Pride Liberty's that good at fresh out of box.
Correct.
Compared to other things that weren't that good out of box. Like, it's really hard, but I understand Quinton's choice. His biggest flop for Motive for 2024 is the Pride Liberty. After we were high on it, so I just want to apologize and explain why. But fresh out of box,
Great.
It's probably one of the best hybrids on the market.
I mean, 4th of July, we posted a video. I was standing 55, 60, getting it out to
Correct.
5, and it came back.
On fresh oil.
Right.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
It was really good.
And then after we got the games on it, like you could see as he was bowling with it, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be brutal when he goes to review it. And then he got it through the review process, and then you normally motive, it kind of starts off really, really, really good, kind of takes a small dip, comes back up and stays there.
Right.
This one did not. For you anyway, did not.
Right.
So Storm's biggest flop of 2024, another one. That Phase AI.
They hyped that ball up.
Yes, they did.
A lot, and it was not worth it.
I have them in stock. I don't think it's that bad compared to some other pieces that Storm has come out with.
I threw it. No.
I like it's round. I like you can control it.
But they advertised it as being one of the most angular bowling balls they've ever made.
Yeah,
and that is not true.
No, it's round.
It is very round
in my opinion. I think the Phase AI is better than the all right. Quinton's biggest flop of 2024 from B7. Now this is going to hurt some feelings out there. He's going to catch some hell.
I already have. What's the point?
Hammer 3.0 Widow. He didn't like it out of box. He didn't like it after 20 games. He didn't like it after 30 games. He didn't like it after 50 games. He sold it after 60. I did say it. Joey tried it. Didn't like it. Aaron tried it. Didn't like it. I do not think that the HK22 cover on the Hammer 3.0 was very good.
No. And James and I were talking about this when we were making the list. And yes, people, especially like hammerheads, might like this ball out of box.
I think the 2.0 is better.
Yes, it was. But once they started throwing it, 30 plus games on it, they're like, this isn't like the other Black Widows we've had. And
Correct.
It's true. It's just, it's not as good as the previous ones they've released.
No,
like the
2.0
2.0 hybrid
phenomenal.
was great.
Yep,
2.0 solid was good.
Both 2.0s were really, really good.
So,
And his choice of the biggest flop of 2024?
3.0.
Hammer
For
3.0.
sure.
Widow.
For
Yes.
sure.
Yes. I'm just going to run it high because he's going to do my list now.
So, James's list.
I'm going to explain it. Don't worry, I'm going to argue with Quinn.
He doesn't care for his urethane-esque options and shape of urethane. We're talking motive here. So he chose the Rampage Pearl as his flop from motive this year.
Now, the Rampage original was good. Why this made my list was they had an opportunity to give us a urethane-esque option that would have played a little bit better in just a small amount of oil or a little bit more oil like the original did, and they missed.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I agree the Rampage Pearl isn't
It's a great spare ball.
for some people.
But I had to pick a motive ball that flopped this year.
Correct.
Now tell me another motive ball that flopped.
Pride Liberty.
Fresh out of box, tell me one that flopped.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why these lists are so hard to do, because when you start to break it down and you're like, okay, well, I really don't like this ball, I don't like this ball, and if I had to pick a ball that's really bad from this company, I would still throw that ball over this ball from this company. It's hard. It's hard.
We're gonna go to this one.
I'm gonna catch hell for the last two.
SPI. Flop of the year.
It's not even a flop of the year. It's a really good ball.
How can you say that in the same breath?
I can.
He chose the Attention Star.
Pearl. It's not as good as other small dipped asymmetrical pearls on the market. Period. I would rather polish a Pride Liberty.
Next, we have Hammers Black Widow 3.0.
That ball is junk. I do not care. Everybody got to see you struggle with it. Nobody saw Aaron struggle with it. Nobody saw me struggle with it. Saw Joey struggle. We all bought one.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
No.
What it lived up.
Biggest flop of 2024. Black Widow 3.0 solid. Junk.
I was really stoked to get one too because it was my first Black Widow. Yeah, it's too bad it was
junk.
Yeah, it
Sorry.
did not live up to my expectations for sure.
Nobody's expectations.
So is that your biggest flop of the year?
My biggest flop of the year, 3.0. You can't beat that turd. I do not care.
Okay, so just so you guys are clear about this.
This is our personal experience.
Correct. So please try to respect our opinion. If you have a difference of opinion, that's fine. Let us know. Don't hate on us.
Oh, well, so bowling is very individualized.
It is.
Okay?
Your style, your pap, it's different for every bowler.
Correct. The only reason I put a certain bowling ball on that list for SBI for my biggest flop of 2024 is because of how much it was hyped.
I love that ball though.
A lot of people do. And like I just said, it's not that bad of a ball. But then again, Storm didn't come out with a lot of bad pieces this year.
Correct.
It was very hard for me to sit down and say, "Oh, that ball's shit." And no.
Well, it's just like the Phase AI for me.
Not a bad ball.
It's not a bad ball. It just didn't match up with me well.
Correct. Just like the Motive Rampage. You get me on a dry lane, I threw it the other night.
Right.
It's not a bad ball. But the biggest flop of the year was that 3.0. I don't care.
Yeah. That just wasn't great. So, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit the post notification bell.
People are liking this format. We will probably do more of this stuff.
Yeah. We are unbiased.
Yeah. Yeah.
This video proves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to know what we think. They like to know why we break things down. They like to know what we think when we compare everything. A lot of people are liking the deeper dive into why we think what we think.
Right.
So, Quinton and I will be back with some other probably longer formats, even if a lot of people don't watch it. The ones that really like this type of format, we will try to make more of these instead of just waiting until mid-season and end of year. We will try to do some more of this stuff.
Right.
Maybe
And we bring every brand to the table. Like
Correct.
You watch a lot of other videos, it's just Storm. It's just Brunswick.
just Motive.
Right.
Like I said earlier, a lot of channels don't have the access that we have.
Correct.
Or the amount of staff members to see everything that is released.
Correct. And watch them throw
Correct.
it, how they break in.
That is why what we do is very important
Correct.
to the viewers out there.
It's just like my Pride Liberty. We explained that. It was great out of box. The way it broke in, I did not like it at all.
After
That's
the 80 game mark is when it really fell apart for Quinn.
Right. And that's why I put it on the list.
And that's why I apologized. I was like, so if you watch our mid-season, that was top ball of the year for hybrids.
Right.
And we had out of box, I would buy another one right now.
Right.
But after 80 games, just be willing to throw it away.
Which is hard to swallow for some people.
Correct.
You know?
Right. But if I had to buy, if I was going to a tournament and I wanted that shaped at the Pride Liberty, I would just put holes in it brand new. I would go through 10 games before the tournament with it, and I'd be good.
All right. So, once again, we're giving away an Attention Star S2.
So much better than the original. Not even for ball wise, just because they haven't hyped this one up as much as the original.
That's true.
I don't like overhyped bowling balls. It bugs me.
Yeah. So a little recap of the Attention Star S2 giveaway. 5 words within our videos, starting from beginning of September till now. There are 5 fruits.
Hammer, Scorpion, Strike, Review. Start there.
Yeah. We currently have a decent amount of entries. We'd like to get more. And if we get more, we'll give away some free merch to all you guys that support us. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Chamois, maybe?
Doesn't have to be pink, that's just my style.
True. Towels?
Yeah, so don't forget to go back, and if you want the Attention Star S2, all you have to do is give us an email, contact information, you'll be entered into our drawing. Drawing ends December 30th, and we will draw the winner either the 31st or the 1st. We will probably do it the 31st, whether it's posted that night or the next morning, you'll know.
Depending on how drunk we get for New Year's Eve, we're not going to lie.
Yeah. We'll be partying in the bowling alley here.
Yeah. I got a DJ, so I'm going to be...
Alright guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.